In our life, when we grow up, we go through insult, injustice, and humiliation, and that leads us to take revenge. At least once in your lifetime, you try to take revenge or imagine to beat someone to give justice to the victims. But we always don't take revenge to give justice. Sometimes it's just jealousy. Many people upload the private messages, private videos on the internet just because they are get rejected by their lovers, or probably they had a recent breakup. In politics, revenge is very common these days. If you watch the Korean movie No Mercy, then probably you will get confused that is it revenge, is it cruelty, or is it love? How does this revenge actually start? There are sayings that revenge is sweet and revenge is the purest emotion, and success is the best revenge. But do you really want to be successful just because you want to take revenge? And do you really think that if you harm someone, that will make you happier? In this video, we'll talk about this. I am Uttam Kumar and welcome to the Generosity. Probably you can remember that in our childhood we were called by some bad names by our friends or by our siblings, and in return we gave them the worst name, and that led us to quarrel, and then we fought. If you managed to win in that situation, probably you don't remember about it. But if you didn't manage to win in that day, then I think you can still remember that event so vividly. In fact, this is a childish revenge behavior. But if you read today's newspaper, you will see that there are many politicians. They just talk this kind of bad things to the other nations. They tell bad things to the other parties, and they tell bad things to other nations, other countries, and that lead Cold War in those countries. But the matter is, the citizens of those countries suffer the most, the politicians not. The unfortunate and the sad thing is that there are many people follow those politicians without realizing that what they are actually doing. This is how the revenge starts in the world, and that lead some countries in a bad shape. If you think about it in our personal life, especially in love, you will see there are many couples. They have a very sweet relationship, but when they break up or they divorce, then they tell the worst thing to each other. If you think about revenge in your life, then you can find out that probably your classmates or your friends tell you some bad things, and that made you sad, and in the return you want to take action. You want to take revenge. This is how the revenge starts, and when it starts, then you are in the loop of this revenge, because once it starts, it never stops. You take revenge, then the other person take revenge, and it's just going on in that loop. Now you can think that revenge is this much simple, but actually it is not. In many countries, just if we think about the minority people, the minorities get injustice most of the time, and sometimes these minority people just divide into small groups, and some of the small groups become the rebel, and that make the worst situation. This is why sometimes we see that some people even they don't care about their life, such as suicide bombing, and some people even they don't care about sentence. This is why we see some public shooting. They kill the other innocent people, innocent children, innocent women, innocent men. This is how everything starts. And now we can talk about why you should take revenge. In fact, revenge is the purest emotion, and it's a raw emotion. So when you take revenge, that makes you feel better. And when you take revenge, instantly you feel powerful, because most of the time we take revenge so fast when we think we are stronger than the others. And if you are weaker than others, then it takes time to take revenge, and sometimes you just helpless, you can't. That makes you sometimes depressed. So taking revenge is not a bad thing at all. Now let's talk about why you shouldn't take revenge. In fact, if you take revenge, are you sure that you will be happy? Even if you be happy, are you sure that you will not regret later? In business, there is a term sunk money or cost money. In simply, that means the money which is already wasted in a business, or already spent, or already lost in a business. And when that business doesn't make profit, and still you think about that sunk money or that cost of money, that cannot be recoverable. That's why in business you need to think about other plans. If you do not get profit at all, the money which is lost, you shouldn't worry about it, because if you worry about it, then you cannot make a good decision. If you apply the same thing in life, means in revenge, then you can see that past cannot be changed or cannot be altered. Maybe you will feel good for a short time, but you are actually not sure that it will make you happy or not. And there are saying that success is the best revenge. Yes, you become successful, yes, it's a revenge, but are you sure that just success means you are happy? There are many people who are successful in the world, but they are probably not happy. So you need to think about it twice. In my opinion, if you think about the revenge, I think you are already defeated in the second time. Because when you think about revenge, you always think about that event and you cannot do other things. And this is why you miss many opportunities in life. Yes, probably you are successful to take revenge, but if you think overall, then probably you don't achieve too much. How to avoid this situation so that you don't have to go through some kind of revenge loop? First, be kind and leave the place. means if you think that something bad is going to happen, you better leave that place. You don't have to show your strength all the time. Yes, it's true that this revenge is the purest emotion. At the same time, kindness and forgiveness is also the purest emotion. Which one will you follow? And the best thing is to ask that person. If someone is very angry at you, if someone you think that want to do harm to you, you can ask that person that what is the reason for that person's anger and why that person want to do harm to you. Probably you will get the answer from that person, and then you can explain about that situation to that person. This is how you can be a good friend, and at the same time you can avoid this revenge loop. In fact, there are some exceptional situations in unusual time, but the matter is what is acceptable in an unusual situation. Probably that is not acceptable in a regular situation. We will talk about it later in another video. See you in the next time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you learned something good, learned something useful, then you can share this video with your friends and subscribe to the channel.